for today's class, we're starting in child's pose. So your child's pose, your knees can be together or they can be wide, whatever you would like. And then you can extend your arms long on the mat, forehead touches. Or your arms can even come back by your heels. And I encourage you here in this practice to forget about everything else that is happening off of your mat. It's very challenging to do that right now. But the hardest part is over. You are here, you showed up. Let's walk those hands over to the left. So hips are still reaching towards the heels, just getting a side stretch in the right side of the body. Let's walk those hands back center over to the right. This is also a great time to, take inventory on the body and notice, how are you feeling today? Let's walk those hands back center, and then we'll press our way up to a tabletop position. If your knees are nice and wide, you can actually close them a little bit more here. And you can start to take some movement. You can wiggle your hips side to side. Kind of like you're wagging your tail if you're a dog, wiggling the hips side to side. Perhaps you'd even like to take some big hip circles in one direction and then the other. Again, just take an inventory, seeing how the body feels today. Maybe today's practice needs to be a little bit gentler for you. Maybe it needs to be a little bit more active or intentional. I will give you modifications and variations to do both. All right, let's come back to a tabletop position. Inhale, we're gonna drop our belly. Gaze will go up towards the ceiling, cow pose. On the exhale, round the spine, angry cat, gaze goes towards the floor. Again, drop the belly, gaze goes up, cow. And exhale, round the spine, angry cat. One more here, drop the belly, gaze goes up. Exhale, round the spine, angry cat. Back to a neutral spine. Let's extend the left leg long, keep the toes on the floor, and rock front to back. So all we're doing here is we're stretching out the foot, stretching out the Achilles, the calf. All right, this is where you can start to pick your poison on how intense you want this class to be. All right, so stack those shoulders on top of the wrists, lift up that left leg, keep the toes facing towards the floor. This can be where you stay. If you'd like a little bit more, go ahead and extend that right arm forward, balancing here. Inhale. On your exhale, bring your elbow all the way to your knee, knee to elbow, elbow to knee, angry cat back, and then extend it long. Again, knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to elbow. And lengthen. And exhale, hands and knee come back down onto the floor. Whew, okay, right leg extends. Keep the right toes on the floor, start to rock front to back. And notice here, If those shoulders are creeping up to your ears, keep those shoulders down and away from the ears. Hug that belly button in towards your spine. I know this can kind of be a passive movement, but make it intentional. All right, let's stack those shoulders on top of the wrist. Lift up the right toes. Toes are facing towards the floor. If you'd like to venture on, extend the left arm forward. Inhale. Exhale, knee to elbow. Round the spine, angry cat back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to elbow. Again, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to elbow. And lengthen. Hand and knee come back down onto the floor. We made it. All right, let's tuck those toes. Lift the knees off of the ground. We're going to hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Send the hips up and back, down dog. Okay, so real talk time. It's our first down dog, okay? So this might feel like death to you. All right, so take a big bend of your knees if you need to. You can pedal out the feet. Any movement here that feels good is accepted. If at any point during today's practice, if we're, in down dog or any other posture that's not life-giving to you, you can always drop the knees and come into child's pose, okay? That is always available to you. That does not mean that you are a terrible yogi. That means that you are listening to what your body needs, which actually means that you're an awesome yogi. All right, let's walk those hands back to meet your feet. Hang in a forward fold at the back of your mat. And again, you can have bent knees here if you need to. Wiggle the hips side to side. If you're like me, the backs of your legs are always very tight, which means that your lower back is tight, your hips are tight. All right, let's walk those hands back out. We're gonna come into a plank. So the shoulders are stacked on top of the wrists. Inhale. Exhale, drop the knees, lower all the way down onto your belly. Hands are gonna come by your lower ribs. Elbows are hugging in towards your chest, and really press your pelvis down into the mat. Gaze is towards the floor. Inhale, let's lift up for baby cobra. So you're thinking about broadening through your collarbones here, and then fold. Inhale, we're gonna lift up again. If you're noticing that you feel it's in your lower back and it doesn't feel good, press through the palms of the hands. And lower. One more time, lift up. Broadening through the chest. Maybe you can straighten those arms a little bit more. And then fold. Whew, go ahead and release those arms towards the floor and release your forehead down to the mat. All right, place those hands by your ribs once again. Tuck your back toes. We're going to send it all the way back to down dog. Inhale. And on your exhale, your feet are going to meet your hands at the top of your mat. Inhale, we're going to lift up halfway. Hands come to the shins or the tops of your thighs, so you have a nice long spine here. Exhale, fold. Again, inhale, lift up halfway. Fold. One more time. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, fold. Big bend of the knees. Let's roll on up to standing. Let's reach those arms up and overhead. Grab onto one of your wrists and then take a side bend. And to even maximize this stretch a little bit more, the opposite way that your hands are going, really press those hips over. And back on up. Grab onto the other wrist, take a side bend. And come back on up. We're gonna get started with our flow. Are you ready? Yeah? Take a quick sip of water or coffee or whatever liquid you have with you. No judgment here, no judgment. Awesome sauce. All right, we're gonna get started with our flow. So inhale, let's reach those arms up and overhead. Exhale, take a swan dive. So you're gonna lead with the chest, arms come out to this side. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step back, high plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower down. Chaturanga. You can drop the knees or keep them lifted. Elbows graze the rib cage. You're going to sweep on through into your back bend. This is our cobra. We've already practiced this. Inhale. Exhale, send it back to down dog. Inhale. Bottom of your exhale, feet will meet the hands at the top of the mat. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise. Arms reach up and overhead, palms touch, bring them down to your heart center. We are doing a sun salutation A for those who are like, what is this called? All right, let's do it again. Inhale, arms reach up. And exhale, swan dive, lead with the chest. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step or jump back. If you're a jumper, make sure that you land with bent elbows for your chaturanga push-up. Sweep on through. Send it back to down dog. The purpose of sun salutations is to get the heart pumping, warm up the body a little bit more through movement that is familiar to you. If this is not familiar to you, take your time. Trust me, we're going to do a bunch of these so it will become familiar. Inhale. Bottom of your exhale, feet meet the hands, top of the mat. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, roll on up to standing, arms reach up and overhead. Palms touch down to your heart center. Again, we go. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step or jump back, high to low push up. Sweep on through. Oh, I'm sore. Send it back to down dog. Oh, it's also a great way to analyze the body. Once again, take inventory, notice what's happening in the body. We have 5 breaths here in down dog. If you prefer child's pose, you can drop the knees, send the hips back to the heels. Again, fine if any movement feels good here, or if you prefer stillness, that's fine too. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath here. In. Bottom of the exhale. Feet meet the hands, top of the mat. Inhale, let's lift up halfway. And exhale, fold. Big bend of the knees, roll on up to standing, arms reach up and overhead, palms touch, bring them down to your heart center. We're gonna take a moment here. I want you to place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. You can close your eyes and just feel the thumping of the heart. It's moving. Okay, so reconnect with that breath if it happened to get away from you. We're upside down a lot. It's a little disorienting if you're not used to it. Or even, honestly, if you are used to it, it's still kind of disorienting some days. Every day is a clean slate. Every time you step on your mat, it's a clean slate. There's no judgment. You accept where you are today. All right, if those eyes are closed, go ahead and open up those eyes. Ooh, bring your hands down to your side. We're going to continue on with our sun salutation B now. So inhale, let's reach the arms up. Exhale, we're going to send the hips down, chair pose. So if you can see me here, my bum is sticking out a little bit. I don't have my knees forward in front of my feet. They're actually back, so I can still look down and see my little toesy-woesies. All right, so get those hips down. Hug that belly button in towards your spine. Engage those ab muscles. Maybe you get a little bit lower in your chair. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, let's lift up halfway. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step or jump back, high to low push-up. If ever this chaturanga push-up is past the point of being unbearable, just skip it and go right back to down dog. On the inhale, we're gonna lift up our right leg. Go ahead, bend the knee, open up that hip. Allow that right heel to fall. Perhaps flipping your dog is in your practice and you can slowly lower that right foot to the floor and then send the hips up towards the ceiling. If you're like, no way, Jose, then just stay right where you were. Flip it on back, three-legged dog. And then plant the right foot on the floor. Left leg lifts up, same thing. Bend the knee, open up the hip. Maybe that left foot can fall towards the floor gently. And we'll come on back, three-legged dog. Plant the left foot on the floor, inhale. Exhale, shift forward, high plank. Hold here. Options for you. If you have tender wrists, come down onto your forearms. Okay, that's gonna make this a little bit more accessible for you. Tummy activation time, okay? So we are in our plank. We're gonna drop both knees to the floor and lift. Both knees to the floor and lift. Whew, yes. The tendency here though is to really, okay, we're not like bumping it. We're not like booty popping at the club, okay? So try to keep those hips nice and stable as you slowly lower the knees and lift up. Shrug those shoulders down and away from the ears. So you have a nice long neck for 4, 3, 2, last one. Beautiful. Either chaturanga push-up or go right back to down dog or child's pose. And yes, your arms should be shaking. Whew. Okay. That was challenging. So if you are feeling challenged, you are feeling the right feelings. Inhale. Bottom of your exhale. Feet meet the hands, top of the mat. Inhale. Let's lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. We're actually going to stay here. Options, bring those arms behind you. You can grab onto your opposite elbows, or if you are a little bit more advanced, you can actually interlace the fingers and reach your fist up high towards the ceiling. The focus here is to open up the chest, okay? So you're broadening across your collarbones, encouraging that breath to expand through the chest. Slowly release the bind of your hands, allow them to fall towards the floor. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Let's bend the knees. Let's come into our chair pose. So hips come down, arms reach up. So the whole point of doing that little tummy activation shebang was to bring awareness to the core, okay? So in your chair pose, it's really easy to kind of stick the bum out and allow the belly just to fall towards the floor. I encourage you to hug that belly button in towards your spine. That will take a lot of the pressure out of your lower back. Get your hips a little bit lower. Inhale. Exhale, sink a little bit lower in your chair. We're going to take mini pulses. We're going to pulse up. Here we go. Pulse up, up, up. Think about squeezing that belly button in towards your spine, squeezing your inner and outer thighs together. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand on up. Bring your hands down to your heart. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay, keep moving here. Inhale, let's reach the arms up. Exhale, hips come down, chair pose. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Oh, that feels good. Or that release in your lower back. Yes, yes, yes. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands. Step or jump back, high to low push up. There's that option if you need to lower the knees or just skip the chaturanga push up. Meet back in down dog. Inhale, let's lift up that right leg. We're gonna bring that knee into our nose 3 times. So we're gonna shift forward into our high plank and bring our knee into our nose. For 1, send it back to down dog. Right leg lifted, knee to nose, 2. Third and final time, knee to nose, and then we're gonna plant that right foot in between the hands. Drop that back knee, low lunge. So toes can stay tucked or untucked. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Option if you would like to go ahead and interlace those fingers behind your back. Another chest opener here. Bring those chests now towards the floor. Gaze goes up towards the ceiling. Go ahead and release the bind. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands come back down to the ground, tuck the back toes, and send it all the way back. 3-legged dog. Right leg is lifted. Inhale. Exhale, shift forward, high plank. Option to keep that right leg lifted as you lower down, chaturanga. Sweep on through. Send it back to down dog. Left leg lifts up. On the exhale, shift forward, high plank, knee to nose. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to nose. 1 more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to nose. Plant that foot in between the hands. Drop that back knee. Untuck the toes or keep them tucked. Inhale, reach the arms up. I forgot to mention this on the other side, but make sure that that front knee is stacked on top of your ankle, okay? We don't want that knee too far in front of it. Should be right on top. If you'd like, interlace those fingers behind your back, but I encourage you to do it in the opposite way that you did before. Hug that belly button in towards your spine. I just caught myself doing it. I was really focusing on opening up my chest and lunging forward that my belly was just like flopping down. Hug it in towards your spine. Inhale. Exhale, slowly release your bind. Hands come down to frame the front foot. Tuck the back toes. Send it all the way back. 3-legged dog. Left leg stays lifted. Inhale. Exhale, shift forward, high plank. Option to keep that left leg lifted for your chaturanga push-up. Sweep on through. Meet back in down dog. Inhale. Exhale. Forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair, hips come down, arms reach up. This is kind of fun, what we're gonna do next. And by fun, I mean challenging, but it's still kind of fun. Okay, so we're in our chair. If you want to, you can bring your hands down to your hips, okay? We're actually gonna take a step from side to side. So it's kind of like you're doing a little dance, step touch, but I want you to get low in your chair, okay? So we're working these hips now, the sides of the booty. We're gonna start getting into strengthening and stretching it out. Notice I don't want a rounding in the spine as you're doing this. The chest is lifted, you're broadening through the collarbones. Everything that we've been working on thus far is coming into play here. Broadening through the collarbones. Belly button's hugging in towards your spine, and you're taking steps side to side. Get low. If you're like, I don't feel this, get low. Get lower. Five more to each side. Now here's 4. You start to feel this, yeah? Whew. 2. Last one. Then we're gonna hold, because I love you. Okay, so hold it. My heart rate went up while doing that. Isn't that insane? Oh, get a little bit lower in your hips. Your arms can reach up and overhead. Get lower in your seat. Next time that you go to sit on the couch, hover like this. You can walk side to side before you like plop down to binge watch. Oh my gosh. Adam, can you hold me accountable for that next time I go to sit on the couch? All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand on up. Whew, bring those arms out and shake it out. Yeah. I'm starting to feel it a little bit here, yeah? All right, we have one more time through our Sun Salutation B. We're doing different variations and modifications, so keep listening. I will guide you through it. We're doing good. All right, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, chair pose, hips come down. We're not gonna hold this one. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step or jump back, high to low push-up. Sweep on through, meet back in down dog. Let's lift up that right leg right away. Inhale. Knee to nose one time, plant the foot up in between the hands. This time, if you would like, keep that back leg lifted. Inhale, reach the arms up. So make sure that front knee is stacked on top of your ankle. We're straightening through this back leg. There's a couple of different lunges. You can do lunges where both knees are bent. We're in yoga. We are lengthening the muscles. So let's straighten that left leg in the back. Inhale. Exhale, we're gonna hinge forward. Those arms are gonna come behind us. Chest starts to lean towards the floor. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, sweep forward. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, reach back. One more time. Inhale, reach up. And exhale. We are hinging forward, so we're in our airplane lunge right now. Hug that belly button in towards your spine. You should feel this in your front bootay. Inhale. Reach the arms up one final time. And exhale, hands come back down to the floor. Optional vinyasa. So that right foot back. You can go high to low push-up or just meet back in down dog. We're getting to that point in class where you're going to be annoyed with hearing me say high to low push-up. So you can skip it if you need to, okay? Listen to what your body wants. What is it craving right now? Inhale, let's lift up the left leg and bring that foot up in between your hands. Keep that right leg lifted. Make sure the front knee is stacked on top of your ankle. Reach the arms up. So when I first got into this studio today, it was very cold. So I bumped up the heat and now I regret my life choice. Regret it. Okay, front knee is stacked on top of your ankle, straighten through that back leg. If you think that your back leg is straight, try to straighten it even more. You can always get that leg straighter. Okay, hug that belly button in towards your spine. We're gonna reach those arms up and overhead. We're broadening through the chest here, widening through the collarbones. Inhale. Exhale, we're gonna hinge forward. So chest comes forward, so you're looking down at your toes. Inhale, reach up with the arms. Chest comes back up. And exhale, forward. Working on our balance here. Inhale, reach up. Crown of the head now reaches towards the ceiling. Exhale, fold forward. Take a moment. Think about that back leg. Is that back leg starting to bend? Most likely it is. Mine was. And come back, airplane lunge. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, frame that front foot. Optional vinyasa, high to low push-up, or just meet back in down dog. Beautiful. Inhale. Exhale, let's shift forward into our high plank, and we're going to drop both knees to the floor. Okay, options here, okay? Right hand is going to come to the center of the mat. You can shoot off that right shin off the side of your mat, straighten the left leg long. This is a modified side plank, okay? Left arm can reach up towards the ceiling or even towards the top of your mat. You can send the hips up towards the ceiling and also forward. If you're like, Rachel, I want a little bit more. How do I get a little bit more? Well, a couple of ways. You can go ahead and lift up that left leg. Told you we're getting into the hips. Or you can go ahead and stack both feet, one on top of each other, full side plank. You can even stagger the feet as well. So left foot would come in front of the right foot. Okay, pick your poison here. If you'd like even a little bit more, go ahead and lift up that left leg. Inhale. And exhale slowly, lower back down. Both knees come to the floor. Let's go ahead and grab onto the fingertips, press them towards the floor, stretch out that wrist. So this especially, it depends on what you're looking for today. If you're looking for a good stretch, then by all means, just keep that shin on the floor, keep your feet on the floor, and think about reaching that high or that arm high towards the ceiling. All right, so we're gonna go to the other side. So left hand now comes to the center of the mat. You can shoot off the left shin, right leg extends. This is a great way to elongate the sides of our bodies. Send that right hip towards the ceiling and also off the side of your mat. So press both hips forward and then up. Beautiful stretch here. If you're like, okay, I want a little bit more strength, you can lift up the right leg, or maybe you even come up onto the side of your foot. You can lift up the right leg if you would like. Depends on what your goals are. One more breath here, inhale. And exhale, whew, slowly lower back down. I was shaken. Let's take a child's pose. So bring those hips down to your heels. Arms can be straight forward, or you can bring them back towards your feet. All right, let's slowly make your way back up here. We'll come out to a tabletop position. Let's finish off our sun salutation B. So you can just step one foot forward and then the other. Come into a quick little chair, hips come down, arms reach up. And then exhale, stand, hands come down to your heart center. That was a long sun salutation. Lots of different variations though, we're moving here. Okay, so we're going to continue on with some static holds of poses to really strengthen and lengthen the body. So let's step back with this left foot. Okay, so nice high lunge here. Okay, so right foot forward, left leg is extended long behind you. Let's bring those arms up and overhead. And let's open up into our warrior two. So left toes reach off the left side of your mat, right toes are reaching towards the top of your mat. And this actually took me like a hot minute to realize what warrior two is actually supposed to do. Okay, so I like to make sure I can see my big toe on the inside of my right inner thigh. So what tends to happen is that front knee likes to kind of cave inward. Think about opening up and elongating through that right inner thigh. So you can see your big toe on the inside of your thigh. Does that make sense? I hope so. Adam gave me a thumbs up. Woo! So go ahead and flip that front palm, reach the right fingertips forward, and then reverse your warrior. So another side stretch here. If gaze up towards the fingertips feels good, you can do that, or gaze can actually go back towards that left foot. Go ahead and straighten that front leg. Whew, you feel a deeper stretch now. Oh my gosh. All right, bend that front knee again. Whew, that was hard. Okay, arms come back. Oh my gosh. Okay, right elbow comes down on top of the right thigh. Left arm reaches up. So left arm can be towards the ceiling or even towards the top of your mat. But notice if you're dumping into this right shoulder, lift out of it. You're still opening up through the chest here, right? Hug that belly button in towards your spine. Really reach those left fingertips high towards the ceiling. Can you get them even towards the top of your mat? Beautiful. Let's come on back. Warrior two, we'll do that one more time on this side. So flip your front palm, reach forward, reverse your warrior. Yes, your front leg should be on fire. She's like, it doesn't really look like I don't think I'm doing this right. My front leg is like burning. Yeah. And if it's not burning, get lower. Bend that knee more. All right, go ahead and straighten that front leg now. Whoo. Do you feel that elongating of the right side of the body all the way from your right middle finger down to your middle toe? Do you feel that? All right, come on back. Bend the front knee. Right elbow comes on top of the right thigh. Left arm reaches up and overhead. If you would like to venture on into this a little bit more, you can actually straighten that front leg. Maybe your right hand comes down to the block or the floor for triangle pose here. This is very intense, okay? So if you need to stay with that front knee bent, by all means go for it, okay? I know we're getting tired. All right, let's come back on up to warrior two. Straighten that front leg, turn the right toes off the side of your mat. Left toes now reach towards the back of your mat. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So warrior two on the other side. All right, so same thing on this side. Make sure that front knee is stacked on top of your ankle. Can you see your big toe on the inside of that left inner thigh? If you can't, you might need to open up that inner thigh a little bit more and squeeze your booty. Squeeze the booty. All right, let's flip that front palm, reach it forward, and then reverse your warrior. What's that belly button doing? Are you just like really opening up and letting go of your abs? Still keep them engaged as you're reaching that left arm up and overhead. Go ahead and straighten that left leg now. Ooh, yes. And I want you to notice the first time you do this, you're like, oh, this is foreign territory. And then the second time you do it, it might feel a little bit better. Let's come back down, warrior two. Left elbow on top of the left thigh, right arm reaches up. Right fingertips are maybe reaching just towards the ceiling. That's totally fine. Maybe they're even reaching now towards, which is now the back of your mat. So the same direction as your head. And let's come back on up, warrior two. Let's do it again. Flip that front palm, reach forward, reverse it. We're burning out the left booty. Yes, we are. If you're not feeling it, get a little bit lower in that squat. You'll feel it. Straighten that front leg. Ooh, yes. Now, how does this feel the second time around? It's not super foreign territory now. And let's come on back, warrior two. Bend that front knee, left elbow, left thigh, right arm reaches up. If you'd like to venture on a little bit more, you can straighten that front leg and bring that left hand down either to a block or to the floor. Getting into that hamstring and the inner thigh and groin a little bit more. Yeah. Nice work. Let's come back on up here. Warrior two. Woo. Now, all 10 toes are going to reach off the side of your mat. Okay? Bring those hands to your hips. And I want to show you this from the side angle first, because what's going to happen here is we're going to take a forward fold. What I don't want to see happen is I don't want to see that the booty starts to go back and then you're forward folding and your bum is sticking out and your butt is not stacked in the same line as your ankles. So what I want to see happen is that you're like looking over that cliff edge and you actually get a little bit of the weight out of your heels as you start to take your forward fold. You have to use your abs here, right? So going down nice and slow. Once you feel as though your chest is parallel to the floor, hold it there for a split second until you can't hold it anymore, and then go ahead and release and allow those hands to meet the floor. That right there is power, that's control, that is ultimately intention, right? Control what you can, let go of what you can't. You can control how your body moves right now and in this class, even after this class. All right, now we're going to continue opening up the inner thighs. So we're going to take a lunge over to one side and bring those opposite toes towards the ceiling. And then you're just moving side to side. For you, this might actually mean that your hands come on tops of your thighs and you're staying up. Maybe your hands can't get to the floor. It don't matter. Maybe your hands can get to your block. Maybe your block can help guide you side to side. Also fine. If your hands are on the floor, I will encourage you that when you lunge and you really try to point those toes towards the ceiling, so you're rotating the thigh out. So you're really maximizing that inner thigh stretch. Tomorrow, I bet you'll be like, why do my thighs hurt? This is why. This is why. I like to think that I'm slowly loosening a bottle cap or a jar every time that I do this. So I'm lunging to one side, I'm lifting my toes towards the ceiling, and I'm just slightly opening up that jar a little bit more. Does that make sense? Is that a really weird visual? I always think about that jar of jelly that gets really sticky and it doesn't open easily. And then I'm slowly opening that jar of jelly. That is a really bad visual. That was stupid. But it's fine. It's fine. I think you guys get it. Okay. Whew, yes, child. All right, next time, let's just come right to center here. Let's heel toe those feet together until they're a little bit wider than your hips, okay? Toes are gonna turn out, and then you're gonna lower your hips down. You can either bring your forearms on the tops of your thighs, or if you are a little bit more flexy, you wanna get a little bit lower, you can get lower. If you still have that block handy and you wanna place that underneath your bum, you can actually sit on it. And then if you are more advanced even more, you can come low, bring those triceps to your inner thighs, and then press your palms together. If you've taken my class before, you know I like to find movement in a Malasana squat, because just sitting here makes you want to cry. So I like to sway side to side. I also think that keeps my muscles engaged. My body is shaking right now, so if you're like, holy Toledo, how, you can always come out of it. Whew. You can straighten your legs, then come right back into it. This is a very deep hip opener, okay? If this is your first time ever doing this, this will be challenging. If this is your first time doing this in a really long time, this will be challenging. If this is your first time doing this today, this will be challenging. Even if you do this frequently, it's always going to challenge you. Awesome sauce. All right, let's bring those hands down to the floor. Slowly lift those hips up towards the ceiling. All right, if you are not facing towards the top of your mat, let's go ahead and get facing towards the top of the mat in a forward fold. So we've strengthened our hips. We've gotten those inner thighs activated. Now let's go ahead and stretch the hips. I'm ready for it. I think we're all ready for it. So let's step that left foot back, drop that back knee to the floor, and then heel toe that right foot over. So we're coming into our half pigeon. I will show you a modification if half pigeon is not accessible to you. So left leg is extended long behind you, right leg. The more parallel the right shin is to the top of your mat, the more intense the sensation and stretch will be. If you're like, that's not going to happen for me today, Rach, what can I do? Cross that right ankle on top of your left thigh. You're in a figure 4 stretch. You can even do this reclined. You can lay on your mat and get the same benefits. So find what feels best for you and your body today. We have about a minute here, so hunker down, folks. We're not leaving anytime soon. You can find movement here if that feels good. You can come down onto the forearms. Maybe you rest your fists down and your forehead rests on the tops of your fists. If you are a little bit more advanced and you'd like to open up the chest here as well, you can extend that left arm behind you and grab onto your toes or your ankle and then press the bottom of your foot, the top of your foot into the palm of your hand to get a chest opener here. If you bend your elbow and pull that heel towards your bum, that's getting a deeper stretch in the right quad and hip flexor. If you're like, I don't know what you're talking about, don't worry about it. All right, we're gonna switch to the other side now. So slowly, slowly, slowly. I like to do this through down dog. So send it back to down dog. Because I'm always inventorying my body. Like, how does it feel? How does the right hip feel in comparison to the left? Let's switch sides, let's find out. So step that left foot forward, drop the back knee, untuck the toes. Heel toe that left foot over, drop the left shin and knee down. If you are reclined or doing your figure 4, all you have to do is switch right to the other side. Now, pick your poison. Find what feels the best for you. Keep that mind focused to what's happening on your mat. Don't let it drift away. Don't do that to yourself. Stay focused here. We are almost done with this practice. Almost. Same thing on this side. If you would like to bend that right leg, get a little chest opener here, grab onto the right foot. Press the right foot into your palm to open up your chest. And we'll slowly come on back to down dog. Whenever you're ready. If you were reclined on your back, just go ahead and stay there. No need to come into down dog. But if you're in down dog, how does the body feel? How does the right and the left hip feel in comparison to each other? Do they feel even now? All right, let's send those knees to the floor. Swing your legs around. We're going to come onto our back. Which, if you know yoga, you know once we get on the floor, we're getting there, right? We're almost done. Okay, so go ahead and lay down. Give yourself a hug. Hug those knees into your chest. I have lots of variations of what we're going to do next on the mat, so you can pick if you would like to have this be more passive, stress relieving, or you can make this more energy inducing, right? You can make this a little bit more active these last few moments of class. So tell yourself now what you're going to do. Would you like the rest of this class to be more of a relaxing, centering portion, or do you want to, let's go, let's do it? All right, let's plant those feet on the floor. Knees are bent. Make sure that you can touch your fingertips to your heels, and your feet are about hip distance apart. All right, hug that belly button in towards your spine so the entire length of your spine is on your mat. That's what we've been doing this entire class. Hug that belly button in towards your spine. That's what I've been talking about this whole time. All right, go ahead and lift up your hips. So here is bridge, okay? If you would like for this to be where you stop, go ahead and stop here. If you'd like to move on, interlace those fingers behind your back, walk those arms underneath your chest, press those hips up a little bit higher, and breathe. Slowly release the bind, and you can come back down, lower the hips slowly to the floor. We're going to do that 2 more times. You can windshield wiper the legs side to side right now. If you would like to make this a little bit more challenging, follow along with me. If you want to do what we just did, do what we just did, okay? So no matter what, we're going to start with our feet planted on the floor, hip distance apart. You can make your way up into your bridge whenever you're ready, or if you'd like to come into wheel, go ahead and reach those arms up and overhead, kind of like you're a zombie. And then flip your palms so they're facing towards the ceiling. Plant those hands by your ears. Frame your face with your elbows, hug your belly button in towards your spine, lift up your hips, and then press into the palms of your hands. Slowly lower back down. And then windshield wiper the legs side to side. All right, we got one more time here. So whenever you're ready, let's get into it again, whichever one that you choose. Set yourself up for success and just go for it. And slowly lower yourself back down. Windshield wiper the legs side to side. Oh, man alive. Nice work. All right, let's give yourself a hug. Hug the knees in towards your chest. And actually, while you're doing this, feel the entire length of your spine on the mat. This is a good test too. Feel the whole length of your spine. And let's drop both of the knees over to the left side of the body. Twist, That right arm comes out to the side. It can either be straight or you can cactus the arm. And we'll come back center and then drop the knees over to the right. And then let's come back center. Let's hug the knees in towards the chest. And go ahead and open up your knees. So this can be where you stay. This is kind of a modified happy baby. You can hold on to the shins and hug them down towards the floor. If you'd like to go a little bit more advanced, flex the feet, reach the bottoms of the feet towards the ceiling, and grab onto the inside or the outsides of the feet. Here you can sway side to side. You can find movement or no movement, whichever feels best. And now, if there is anything that you need to round out your practice, to finish it off for you, now is a good time to do that. If it's an inversion of types, that makes no sense. If it's an inversion of sorts. And then when you are ready, you can make your way into our final pose of Shavasana. So legs will extend long on your mat. We have 2 minutes here together. I encourage you to stick with this. I know it only seems like it's 2 minutes of your time. What's the big deal? But man, it's hard to lay still for 2 minutes. So let's just try it together. Resist the urge here to fidget or to try to fix your clothes or your hair, or if your animal is like attacking you right now, just resist the urge to change or fix any of those external components that could be near you right now or influencing the time on your mat. On your next inhale, go ahead and reach those arms up and overhead. And on the exhale, bring the knees slowly in towards the chest and roll over to one side of the body. From here, we'll slowly make our way up to a comfortable seated position. You can have your eyes closed. And just notice instinctually, like, what happened to your hands? Are they palms down on the tops of your thighs, or maybe they're palms facing up, or maybe there's even a combination of that. Once again, your body is telling you something. If your palms are facing up, you might need to receive a little bit more energy right now. If your palms are facing down, perhaps you need more grounding or stability. intentionality, or you might be a mixture of the both. Inhale, let's reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale, bring those palms to touch, bring them down to your heart center. Wonderful movement today. Thank you so much for allowing me to lead you through this practice. I hope you have a wonderful week. Namaste.